Though this jiva is everywhere, inside and outside, yet it has a special identification with this vital energy, which is therefore considered its special abode. The jiva essentially, when we peel back all the layers, the jiva is essentially the Supreme Self. In that sense it's everywhere. But we're told that it has a special identification with this vital energy, which is therefore considered its special abode. This vital energy. The translator has put the word sperm in parenthesis. And I think we're getting some yogic understanding here. But I'm not sure we need to bring sperm into it. I think if the word that was translated is sperm, you should just have said sperm. But he said vital energy. In the previous paragraph we were talking about control. The ability to control our limbs. This is what gives rise to an identification with the body. I would understand this vital energy therefore as just this ability to move our appendages. It's an identification with this energy which we make special. We somehow regard it as special. It's somehow what we regard as special to us as individuals. But we can also understand the jiva being everywhere inside and outside when we go into a vehicle which is bigger than our body. And what happens is we then identify with the space of the vehicle. If we didn't, we'd be crashing it all over the place. We then become the size of the vehicle. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to navigate it through small streets. And if you're a big truck driver, big heavy duty lorry driver, then you expand your consciousness to fit the size of that vehicle. So that's one sense in which we can talk about the expansion of consciousness, can't we? The lorry driver can do this. There's nothing particularly spiritual about it, it's just a natural function. One wonders how far we can take this. If you're in the Starfleet Academy, you'll learn to pilot spacecraft. And so your awareness identifies with a huge vehicle, maybe hundreds of meters long. This becomes your vehicle. There's some interesting scope for taking this further, isn't there? Where can we go with this one? But let's not keep going outwards. Let's move to the heart. Thus it exists in the very heart of beings. So this is the jiva, the prime mover. Whatever it conceives of, while thus existing in the beings, is the very experience it experiences. So whatever it conceives of, whatever it makes a concept out of, this is what it's attracted to. If it actually makes a concept, then that concept already has some pulling power. And that concept will be nurtured, it will be nourished. It will be nourished by other concepts. And this becomes our reality. Everybody has their own reality. We all have our own sense of reality. We all have our own sense of a conventional reality. We've got our inner reality, then the outer reality, the conventional reality, which we all try to go along with to a greater or lesser extent. And there's a relationship which builds up between the inner reality and the outer reality. And this becomes our overall picture of reality. It's got lots of different modes to do with music, science, art, psychology, sociology, culture, family, environment. But until it abandons all movement of thought and consciousness, until it becomes of no mind, it does not attain peace, and it does not cease to entertain the false notion of I am this. So it's identification with these notions which stirs the whole thing up, which causes anxiety, insecurity and suffering basically. The prime false notion being, I am this body, or I am this person, I am this particular role, I am the factor in this particular relationship, and so on. Instead of just letting this happen, we say, I am doing this, I am talking, I am listening, I am walking, I am moving my hand. So I am gets pushed into everything. Hence, O Ram, though you may still continue to entertain thoughts and feelings, if the I-ness or ego sense ceases in you, you will remain like the space, and there will be peace. And this is it. This is where we've got the Advaita teaching as opposed to the traditional yogic teaching. You may still continue to entertain thoughts and feelings. We don't have to stop them. We don't have to kill the mind. We still entertain thoughts and feelings. They still arise. They still happen. But we don't identify with them. Awareness no longer gets caught up in them. Awareness is no longer limited by them. You remain like the space. You remain like space. This glass is here. Now it's here. Is the space here bothered? Is the space here perturbed when there's an object in it, or when there's not an object in it? The space is still space. Whether the object's moving through it or not, is the space around it perturbed? The space is being completely taken up by this glass, or by its shell anyway. Am I disturbing the space? So our awareness is like this. Things come into it, things go out of it. Awareness can get hooked into it, or awareness can rest in itself, like space resting in space.